Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of Wine Library TV. I'm your host, Gary Vaynerchuk. Today we're going to be talking about two different areas in France, areas that I don't think have the recognition they deserve, and three wines total from those areas. We're going to be talking about the south of Rhone, the southern Rhone area, Vacqueyras. Vacqueyras has always to me been the value of the entire south of Rhone. I felt that the quality of the wines have always been very close to Chinon and Vacqueyras for half the price, and we've got a great Vacqueyras with us today. We're also going to be talking about the Loire Valley. The Loire Valley is really known for their whites, but they've got a red wine called Chinon, which is 100% Cabernet Franc, which I find extremely fascinating, well priced, and just tremendous real wines that I think a lot of people have never had a Chinon. And so I think that in itself is really worth this episode. So, without further ado, let's talk about the 2003 Clos Montereau Vacqueyras. This is a wonderful winery that, to me, has made some of the best Vacqueyrases in the world. Now, this guy's actually pretty expensive for Vacqueyras, and that's kind of ironic because really I think the story of Vacqueyras is quality-price ratio. If you've never had a Vacqueyras, please go out and get one. What I find very fascinating about Vacqueyras is that they have a very interesting law for the town and for the wines of Vacqueyras. The wines must be 50% Grenache. And usually the rest of it is Syrah, sometimes Cinsault, Mourvedre, some of the other grapes, but it has to be at least 50% Grenache. And Grenache, is a very, very aromatic strawberry jam kind of nose. Gives a lot of body, kind of reminds a lot of people of Shiraz at times. But it's a very interesting grape on its own. And because Grenache is not that expensive, for farming purposes, the wines have never been that expensive. Now, this is the top cuvee from these guys, so this isn't expensive. This is very expensive, as a matter of fact. It's a $22 wine, which is very expensive for Vacqueyras, or starting to become expensive for Vacqueyras, but is still inexpensive in the scheme of things. I mean, you're paying $40, $50, $60 for Chinon and Vacqueyars. And again, these wines are of that quality. You can see the great color. Again, 91 points, Josh Reynolds, who writes for Stephen Tanzer's international wine cellar. Great nose. This wine has gotten nice press in the past. Very aromatic on the nose. Again, deep color, very concentrated. Very serious wine. Very hot tannin finish, which just shows you the structure. I mean, I love this wine actually, but really, it's very big. And again, these wines have only been open for about a half an hour because we're on a tight time schedule today because I got out of here for a meeting. But for 30 minutes of breathing, it's going to need a hell of a lot more. This wine is a decanting wine. We're going to need to decant this wine. Huge structure, a lot of strawberry, a lot of pepper. A little bit of cassis. Very dry. Wow, this would be immense with any kind of meat dish, especially one that was very complex with a lot of pepper, a steak. This would be just an unbelievable compliment because it's a huge mouthfeel. What's interesting about this wine is I think the people who drink California Cabernets and love them, and they like them because they're big and they're bold and they go great, with a lot of dinners, and a lot of people drink them and they're $50, $60, and you get average, for $40 you get average Napa Valley Cabernet nowadays. And I look at this wine, which is $22 and just over-delivers for that price point. And I would really say that if you like powerful big red wines, Brunellos, California Cabernets, over-the-top, Bordeaux, Shiraz, this is definitely a wine you need to try because you'll be able to save yourself a huge amount of money, and really more importantly, you'll be able to deliver a higher quality of wine. You'll be able to buy 2 cases of wine instead of 1 case of wine and save yourself money and enjoy the wines even better. This is really extremely spectacular. The strawberry kind of jam nose is so obvious. I like this a lot. It's very dry. This is definitely not for a beginner. If you're going to be a beginner that drinks this, you definitely want to put it away. It's very complex, but very good. I would score this 91, 92 points. It's a big winner. Next. This is a Chinon. And Chinon's, to me, 100% Cabernet Franc. And La Noble is a very small producer in the Chinon. Once again, we're getting great color. Now here, everybody needs to get one bottle of this. It's not because I'm trying to sell it. It's because I'm telling you right now, you've never smelled a wine like this before. This is classic bell pepper, green pepper, red pepper. I mean, this smells like a garden. This smells like a garden. It smells like a salad. I mean, it's what I love about Cab Franc. But Cab Franc, beware, it's not like really anything else you've ever had. It's very aromatic, but it's very terroir driven, very soil driven, earth tones. It's amazing. It's such an obvious smell. You know what's really interesting on this? On the finish, there's even like a peppermint kind of nose, which is quite interesting. Again, very green flavors. If you're a huge fan of fruit, Shiraz, Cabernets, you're not going to like this. Now, if you want to expand your horizons and see what else is out there, this is what you need to try. Again, I think this is 90 points when I inspected it for $14. So it's scored very well and it's priced very well. I would say it's 89, 90 points. I would say the score is right on. And I would say that for the price, it's unbelievable. This is kind of geeky. I mean, this is the kind of thing that me and my buddies that are really into wine will drink and get into, because you don't have wines like this every day. I like this. To me, this is fantastic because, one, I like vegetables. Two, you can drink this by itself. It's not too over the top, and it's very charismatic. You know, it's a different kind of wine, but really you have to like the style. This is not something that everybody who's watching this should try. However, you know, luckily enough, the price is not at a place where I don't think you may want to roll the dice and try a bottle. You're going to either love it or hate it. If there's a lot of wines, you know, these New World, California, and Australian wines that you don't like, this is something you should try. It's very complete. I get a really interesting olive flavor, you know, like green and black olive mix. I mean, this is very food. It's almost food in its own self. A little bit of truffle oil nose. I mean, it's really quite out there. A real potpourri of different vegetable and food flavors. Vegetable and food flavors more so than fruit. No cherry, no raspberry, more salt-driven products in a way, if that makes any sense. Really excellent. Great wine. Now, Vacqueyras 2003 Chinon, also a 90-pointer, also one of the great, you know, Chinon producers. Not as interesting on a nose, definitely nowhere close to the Noble. Actually, almost like wet paper, kind of like just brought me back to, you know, thinking of like grocery bags, you know, when it rains and that smell that the bags give you, if that makes any sense. Not very attractive on the nose. I'm not sure if it's just not that great or that the Noble is so interesting and complex, but coming off of that, and I think this is more expensive and either rated a point higher or the same rating, this is an uninspiring effort. I'm not all that excited about it. It's almost like it's like doing the minimum. You know, it's just like kind of showing like, hey, yeah, I'm a Chinon, this is Cab Franc. But there's nothing kind of interesting about it. It's not giving me all that much. It's adequate. You know, it's an adequate wine, but not exactly what I expected. Again, we bought this completely on the score. We do that, of course, because, you know, there's demand, but there's really no comparison. So, you know what? It's keep it easy. There you go. That's how I'd rank them today. Again, a 91, 92 point wine. If you're looking for something different and you've never had Vacqueyras, please go out and try one. Again, this is expensive. I don't necessarily recommend you try this one. It's exceptional, and if you like Chateauneuf de Pape or Syrah, you're going to like this. This is really, really exceptional. But if nothing else, after today's episode, if you're in a restaurant, especially in any of the big cities, ask for a Vacqueyras or Chinon by the glass. Maybe they'll have it, or explore. Or get together with your friends and have a tasting party. But if you do anything, try different wines. Vacqueyras, Chinon. We've got two great, in my opinion, 90-point quality wines right here. One that just didn't hit it. But, again, great wines. Different. Not Bordeaux or Burgundy from France. France got other red wines out there. So let's try them. We'll see them next time.